Okay, time for another video. I thought I'd stop here and just show you a couple of lighting tests that I've done and a little bit of progress with relating to drilling the holes and some recommendations and discoveries along the way that I think are worth talking about. Before I get into that, one of the things I want to share with you is that today arrived my 5 millimeters pre-wired LEDs that are the blue flickering lights that will be going into the engines of the model. Now, of course, this is a toy. This is not the model, but it's just for reference purposes. So I ordered 10. I'm going to put on screen where you can get them from. What's great about this is if you're in the U.S., this company is domestic, and so that means that you can get them in a very quick time. I think I ordered them on Tuesday, and today's Saturday, and I picked up the mail today, and of course saw them there. So I ordered 10. They were like $8 or something like that, which is great. And so I think I'm going to do the 3 independently, and then as an option to turn on the additional 4, because I think the 3 will just be the standard, and then the 4 will be as another button or another click or something like that to turn those on. Before I talk about the lights very quickly, one of the things I noticed about this toy, which I really like, believe it or not, is the color scheme. That if you look at the actual Star Destroyer studio model, the engines, everything in the back are the exact same color as the hull itself, which is that sort of off-white color. And I don't really agree with that. I think that the engine should be a darker color, something dirty, and I think that this toy does a good job at representing them with a sort of different shades of gray in here. So I'm probably going to do something like that. Now, these are the lights. This is my battery test, which I'm going to use for this, and without further ado, turn it on and see. Okay, turn that off, and then I got that here, and that looks really nice. Okay, so this is a nice inconsistent, almost random flickering, and I think 3 of those for those engines in the back. I think that 3 of those would look really, really nice together. To give you an idea of just some of the lighting that it's giving you here, is that if you look on the wall over here, look how bright that is, you know. So these are going to be very, very nice lights. So very pleased with that. Let's take a look now at the Star Destroyer that I'm working on, talking about the drill holes, some things to watch out for, and then I'll take a look at some of the lighting tests. Okay? Alright, let's get our bearings. So basically I have the same battery set up now, and what I did was I fastened it to a small piece of LED tape here. Okay, so this is cool white LEDs, and I'm using that just to give me some perspective on the drill holes, what it looks like when I reflect some light through there. And I also added some temporary 3mm fiber optic cable in here. Okay, so at least I can see, you know, using the light here, get an idea of what the fiber optics will look like. There's a little bit of a barrier here, so I won't be showing you the front, but I've drilled holes from front to back along the sides here, as well as the other side. Okay, so a couple things about drilling the holes I just want to make mention of. I used the Dremel 1/32 inch drill bit at the top here, and that's about 8 millimeters, so it fits well with the 3 millimeter, and also I think the 5, like I had mentioned before. I don't have any 5 millimeter yet. I will need some, because some of these holes were a little bit larger in the drilling process, and then now some of the 3 millimeter won't fit through it. That's okay. Now, one of the things I want to mention too as well, if you think that this is a laborious process, yes it is, and it gets even worse, because when you start drilling these holes, one of the things I had to do after each hole was go ahead and use an X-Acto knife and just cut away the plastic that was on the drill bit. Okay, I'll show you a shot of that happening. And the reason why I had to do that was because in order to drill the next hole at the same size, that plastic would add to the diameter of the drill bit. So I had to cut it off, get it in there, and then, you know, go through that process again. So this is going to take a little bit longer than I anticipated, because you can see that you even have a lot more to work with just on this top part over here, there's plenty of places, and you do want to get most of your lights over here. There's quite a bit to light. There's a lot more room to get in there, so it'll be nice. It'll look good when it's all done. All right, so let me get the hood on, and what we'll do is we'll take a look at the lights, and I have some comments to make about the LED versus the what you'll see with the fiber optic. Okay, so just give me a second. I'm going to put the hood on, and then we'll start it. All right, so this is what the lighting test looks like over here so far. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about this because I want to show you some of the differences. So basically, now keep in mind the following. If you're doing LED lighting and you don't want to use the fiber optics, then the concept is that within here you're going to completely illuminate this as best you can with painting the inside white on top of a darker coat. So you start with a much darker coat for the light leak, and then you'll paint a white reflective, even a silver if you can, and then basically that would just spread the light throughout and then pop out the sides like you're seeing over here. Okay, so what you're seeing in the back over here, this is actually going to be an example of the LED just reflecting through. Now, of course, this is not the way you would end up doing it, but you can see that there is some light coming through. It's probably looking a lot brighter on video than it actually does in person over here. And then over here, you can see these are what the fiber optics look like. Now, keep in mind they're not properly set in here. Okay, so some of them look like maybe they're a little bit uneven, etc. I think I may have too many lights here. I don't like this row looking this way, so I might putty up some of these holes. But one of the things I want to share with you is that you want to make sure that if you're going to do the LED route versus the fiber optic, you see what's happening over here? You can get a lot of the starring effect if the LED light is being caught through here and it's way too bright. Okay? So that's one of the things that I would recommend, that if you're going to do LEDs, then make sure that you know, they're not facing through, and maybe they're just illuminating the top, etc. Like they're bouncing off the walls or off the ceiling part, and not have them, you know, like this guy is here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's facing, you know, where am I? This way. Okay. So something to consider there. The other thing is that the advantage that you have, again, with the fiber optics, is you can mix and match some colors in there if you need to, just by changing the colors of the fiber optic cables, by painting them, etc. And also, of course, your fiber optic lighting source, you can change different colors there too, you know, to maybe warm up these instead of the cool whites in that case. All right. So some touch up here to be done for sure. There's a lot of areas for light leak. So you can see right here, that's an example of something that has to be, these corners are not well met. So there's a lot of pieces you're going to have to fix when the model is finally assembled and you're gluing this top part on here. Okay, so something to consider there. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to continue drilling the holes on the top area here. Then I'm going to go ahead and paint this all black, and then figure out where's another good stopping point for me to make another video. But I did want to share with you some of the findings that I had along the way, and so if you're building one of these and you're looking for certain directions, hopefully this helps in some of the areas that you might have been considering. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, comments always welcome. Subscribe to the channel so you'll see when the next videos come out. And looking forward to progressing with this, and I'll be back in touch. So thanks for watching, and talk to you soon.